Billionaire spots man sleeping on bench. Gay secret leaves him speechless. Owen Thompson never imagined that a simple walk through Central Park would upend his entire world. But when he laid eyes on the young man sleeping on the stone bench, something inside him shifted forever, and later learning the stranger's true identity would force the billionaire to question every choice he had ever made. The cold October wind whipped through the trees as Owen, 42, tightened his cashmere coat and kept walking. His phone had buzzed nonstop all evening with messages from his mother reminding him about the charity gala next week and the lovely daughter of the Harrisons she wanted him to meet. Another setup. Another lie he would have to tell. At the top of Thompson Tech, with billions in the bank and a penthouse that overlooked the entire Manhattan skyline, Owen still felt completely alone. He almost missed the figure curled on the bench. The young man couldn't have been more than 26, his dark hair falling across a face that looked both exhausted and strikingly handsome even in sleep. A thin denim jacket did nothing against the chill. Owen stopped. Something about the way the stranger's shoulders rose and fell, vulnerable yet proud, hit him harder than any boardroom victory ever had. He crouched down, voice low. "Hey, you all right? It's freezing out here." The man's eyes snapped open, deep brown, guarded, beautiful. He sat up fast, fist clenched. "Who the hell are you?" "Name's Owen. I'm not here to hurt you. You look like you could use a warm place and some food. My apartment's 2 blocks away. Just for tonight. No strings." The young man studied him for a long moment, then let out a tired laugh. "Eli. And yeah, I'm freezing. Thanks, I guess." They walked in silence to the waiting black SUV. Inside the warm leather seats, Eli stared out the window at the glittering city he had once dreamed would save him. "Left Ohio 2 years ago after my dad found out I'm gay. Cut me off, kicked me out. Photography gigs dried up. Rent, bills ended up here." His voice cracked just once. Owen's grip tightened on the steering wheel. He knew that pain better than he would ever admit. The penthouse doors opened to floor-to-ceiling windows and soft lighting that made the space feel like a magazine spread. Eli stood frozen in the foyer. "This is yours." Owen nodded and ordered Thai food from his favorite spot. While they waited, he poured 2 glasses of water. Eli ate like he hadn't seen a real meal in days, yet every bite came with a quiet, "Thank you." Conversation flowed easier than Owen expected. Eli spoke about chasing light through his camera lens, about the way a single honest photograph could tell a whole life story. Owen listened, really listened, and for the first time in years felt the walls he had built around his own truth tremble. Later, alone in the guest room, Eli stared at the ceiling. In the master suite, Owen poured himself a scotch and stood at the window. The city lights blurred. He had spent 2 decades hiding who he was, dating women for appearances, smiling through family dinners where his mother hinted about grandchildren. Now a stranger named Eli had walked in and made the hiding feel unbearable. Owen shook his head. This was just one night. Tomorrow he would help the kid get back on his feet and go back to his carefully constructed life. But when morning light spilled across the kitchen island, Eli appeared in the same wrinkled clothes, hair still messy, and smiled shyly. "I can leave whenever you want." Owen set down his coffee. "Actually, I have an idea. My company needs fresh campaign photos. You any good with a camera?" Eli's eyes lit up for the first time. Owen felt that same unexpected pull again, stronger now. He told himself it was just kindness. He was wrong. By the end of the week, Eli had a temporary studio space on the 20th floor of Thompson Tech and a corporate credit card for essential gear. Owen told himself it was smart business. Eli's raw, emotional style was exactly what the new product launch needed. In truth, he simply wanted an excuse to see those brown eyes every day. They spent long afternoons in the studio. Eli behind the lens, Owen pretending to review spreadsheets while actually watching the way sunlight caught Eli's jawline when he concentrated. One Thursday after a successful test shoot, they grabbed dinner at a quiet Italian place Owen loved. Candlelight flickered between them. Eli twirled pasta and asked the question Owen had dreaded. "You ever been in love? Like real love?" Owen's fork paused. "Once. Long time ago. Didn't work out." He left out the part where the man had been his college roommate, and the reason Owen had learned to lock his heart away. Eli nodded, sensing the weight. "My last relationship ended because his family found out. Same story, different city. Their eyes met longer than necessary. When the check came, Owen paid without thinking. Outside, the night air felt charged. Eli stopped under a street lamp. "Why are you doing all this for me?" Owen searched for an answer that wasn't the truth. "Because I've been where you are. Not literally on a bench, but trapped." Eli's hand brushed his arm. Neither pulled away. The next morning, Owen's best friend Mark, his straight, no-filter CFO, cornered him in the executive gym. "You're spending a lot of time with the new photographer. People are talking." Owen laughed it off. "He's talented. That's all." Mark raised an eyebrow. "Just be careful. Guy shows up homeless, and suddenly he's in your world. Smells like trouble." The words stung more than Owen let on. That afternoon, Eli showed Owen the first edited shots. The images were breathtaking, raw emotion captured in every frame. When Eli leaned over the monitor, their shoulders touched. Owen's pulse jumped. Eli noticed. "You okay?" Owen cleared his throat. "Yeah. These are incredible." Later, alone, Owen stared at his reflection. He had spent years convincing himself he didn't need this feeling. Now it was standing in his office wearing a borrowed button-down and smiling like the future might actually be possible. Eli, back in the guest room that was starting to feel like home, opened his camera roll and scrolled to an old photo of his father, Victor Lang, the man whose empire Owen's company had crushed in a brutal takeover 3 years earlier. Eli had come to New York with one secret goal: to understand the billionaire who had destroyed his family. He never expected to fall for him. Weeks turned into a rhythm neither wanted to break. Mornings started with coffee on the balcony. Evenings ended with quiet conversations on the couch. Eli's photography portfolio landed a major feature in a design magazine, and Owen celebrated by taking him to a rooftop bar with a view that made the city feel endless. Under string lights, surrounded by laughter, Eli finally asked the question that had been building. "Are you gay, Owen?" The words landed like a stone in still water. Owen's glass froze halfway to his lips. No one had ever asked him so directly. He looked at Eli's open, hopeful face and felt the lie die in his throat. Yes. The single word felt like freedom and terror at the same time. Eli's smile was soft, understanding. "I thought so. You don't have to hide with me." That night they sat side by side watching the city lights, shoulders touching, and when Eli's fingers brushed Owen's, neither moved away. The first kiss happened 3 days later in the studio after everyone else had gone home. It was slow, careful, full of years of longing on both sides. No fireworks, just the quiet certainty that this was real. Owen pulled back first, forehead against Eli's. "I've never done this. Out in the open." Eli whispered, "We'll figure it out together." But the world outside didn't wait. Owen's mother called the next morning insisting he attend the family Thanksgiving dinner and bring that nice girl from the gala. He hung up feeling the old cage closing in. At the office, Mark pulled him aside again. "I ran a background check. Eli's last name is Lang. Victor Lang's son. The same Victor whose company we took down." Owen's blood turned to ice. He stared at Mark. "You're wrong." But the documents Mark slid across the desk didn't lie. Eli Lang, son of the rival Owen, had bankrupted. The man sleeping in his guest room, the man he had kissed, carried the last name that could destroy everything. Owen confronted Eli that evening in the penthouse. "Your father is Victor Lang?" Eli's face went pale. "I was going to tell you. I swear. I came here to hate you, to expose you maybe, but then I met you. The real you. And everything changed." Owen's voice cracked. "You lied to me." Eli stepped closer. "I stopped lying the moment I fell in love with you." The silence stretched, heavy with betrayal and longing. Owen turned away, but he didn't ask Eli to leave. Thanksgiving arrived like a storm. Owen's parents' estate in the Hamptons glittered with crystal and expectation. He brought Eli as his photographer friend, but the tension was electric. His mother cornered him in the library. "Darling, the Harrison's daughter is single and perfect for you. When are you going to settle down?" Owen's jaw tightened. Across the room, Eli stood politely answering questions about his work, but his eyes kept finding Owen's. Later, in a quiet hallway, Owen grabbed Eli's hand. "I can't keep pretending." Eli squeezed back. "Then don't." The turning point came after dessert. Mark, who had also been invited, pulled Owen aside. "I told your father about Eli's last name. He's already calling lawyers." Owen felt the floor drop. You had no right. Mark shrugged. I'm protecting the company. Protecting you. When Owen returned to the dining room, his father's face was stone. Victor Lang's boy? In my house. The room went silent. Eli stood slowly. I'm not my father. And I love your son. The words hung in the air like smoke. Owen's mother gasped. His father's voice boomed. Get out. Both of you. They drove back to the city in silence. In the penthouse, Owen finally broke. I've spent my whole life hiding so I wouldn't lose everything. Now I'm losing it anyway. Eli knelt in front of him. You're not losing me. That night they held each other on the couch until dawn, no words needed. The next morning headlines appeared. Thompson Tech CEO linked to rival's son. Gay relationship exposed? Owen stared at his phone, then looked at Eli. I'm done hiding. He posted a single statement on every company channel. I am gay. Eli Lang is the man I love. The rest is noise. The backlash was immediate. 3 major clients pulled out. Board members demanded an emergency meeting. But something else happened too. Messages poured in from employees who had been hiding the same truth. For the first time, Owen felt the weight lift. The boardroom battle lasted 6 hours. Owen stood at the head of the table, Eli beside him, not as a secret, but as a partner. If loving him costs me this company, so be it. One by one, directors shifted. Some walked out. Others stayed. In the end, the company survived, smaller but honest. Owen's family remained divided. His mother sent a single text. I need time. His father said nothing. Eli's own father called the same week. Victor's voice was cold. You chose the man who ruined us. Eli answered quietly. I chose love. Something you never taught me. The line went dead. But Eli's mother secretly texted later. I'm proud of you. Call when you're ready. The real test came in December. Owen's sister flew in from Chicago with her kids. She hugged Eli without hesitation. You make my brother smile. That's enough for me. Small cracks of acceptance began to appear. Owen and Eli spent Christmas quietly in the penthouse, string lights glowing. Camera on the table as Eli captured their first holiday together. The photos were simple, hands intertwined, quiet smiles, but they held an entire journey. Yet the past still whispered. One night Owen found Eli on the balcony staring at the city. Do you ever regret finding me on that bench? Eli turned, eyes shining. That bench gave me everything I was looking for. They kissed under the winter stars, slow and sure, the kind of kiss that promised forever without needing words. Mark showed up at the office the next week, head down. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Owen shook his hand. Apology accepted. Just don't ever check on my boyfriend again. They laughed, the friendship mending in its own imperfect way. Spring arrived with new campaigns and new beginnings. Eli's photography exhibition opened in Chelsea. Images of love, struggle, and quiet strength that critics called groundbreaking. Owen stood in the back, watching strangers study the photo of 2 men on a bench at sunrise, the same bench where their story started. Tears pricked his eyes. He had risked everything and gained more than money could buy. One evening they walked Central Park again. The stone bench was empty this time. Eli stopped and pulled Owen close. Remember the night you found me here? Owen smiled. Best decision I ever made. They stood forehead to forehead, the city humming around them. Owen's phone buzzed, his mother asking if they would come for Easter. Small steps. Real steps. Years later, people would ask how the billionaire and the photographer built a life against all odds. Owen would simply say, I saw a man on a bench and finally saw myself. Eli would add, and I found the courage to stop running. Their love wasn't perfect. Family still struggled. Society still judged. But every morning they chose each other again, proving that truth, once spoken, could rewrite even the most carefully guarded life. True or false? In today's world, can a gay man's love for another man truly overcome the combined weight of family traditions, business empires, and societal expectations without anyone having to sacrifice who they really are?